chop shops, drug trafficking, the garbage, rats.
San Francisco has become San Francisco?
The town I love is sick, John.
Michael Schellenberger says his ideas wrecked his town.
I moved out to San Francisco when I was a young radical to work on political causes. And while I still support a lot of that work, it just went too far.
Brazen thieves emptied out the Louis Vuitton store in Union Square.
Come on, brother. Come on, brother.
Right now, John, you can go into a drugstore and steal $950 worth of items, and nobody will do anything. They won't enforce the law against you.
Join me.
That happened because San Francisco's politicians had a noble idea.
Join us in rejecting the notion that to be free, we must cage others.
California passed something called Proposition 47. It eliminated penalties for many crimes.
Instead of investing in prisons, Proposition 47 will divert $1 billion to K-12 education, mental health, and drug treatment programs.
America does lock up a higher percentage of our people, disproportionately black people, than any other country.
Prop 47 getting a lot of support from a lot of celebrities. That's Jay-Z at one of his concerts talking about the importance of Prop 47.
The jails are overcrowded. People don't get better being in jail. A lot of the people who steal maybe just needed the stuff. The state made a decision. We're not going to lock you up.
None of us want mass incarceration, but that was a recipe for disaster.
Knowing they won't be jailed, thieves steal right in front of security guards. In addition, San Francisco's filled with little tent cities where drug users light up in public, confident no one will interfere.
Cheryl Mott, she says she's been on the streets of San Francisco because of how easy it is for her to buy and use drugs here.
But even she wants the city to do something.
My opinion, they need to crack down here.
You're smoking crack every day, you say?
For 12 years out here. Yeah, because it's more lenient out here. I'm from San Jose. If I went to San Jose to this, I'd be in jail.
Other cities do treat people like her differently.
They don't let people use drugs in public, and they built sufficient homeless shelters.
Bizarrely, some San Francisco activists argue against shelters, saying
everybody has the right to their own apartment, but that's completely crazy because it costs $750,000 to build a single-unit apartment in San Francisco.
I once reported that San Francisco's regulation increased homelessness by limiting the size of buildings. My video said that was one of the big reasons for this. It's not true.
It's not true. I mean, if it were true that expensive places made for homelessness, then why don't we see large open-air drug scenes in Carmel? Why don't we see large open drug scenes in many fancy neighborhoods? Homelessness is just a function of whether or not you allow people to camp in public or not.
And in Carmel, the police kick them out?
Yeah, of course.
I'm more sympathetic to the argument that people have a right to be outdoors, and we don't have a right to force them off the street if they aren't directly threatening anybody.
We should defend those rights because that's part of our freedom. But you don't have a right to shoot heroin at the public park.
We allow drinking in public.
We actually regulate it very firmly. The only thing that's worked is to have consequences for people's behaviors.
But in San Francisco, the consequences often fall on innocent people.
Cars are broken into an average of 74 times a day.
The people in charge aren't embarrassed?
The San Francisco officials I talk to are very embarrassed. They're very defensive. They don't know what to do because there's a very powerful progressive constituency that insists that people who are categorized as victims should not have to follow the law.
These progressive activists, these were you. You were one of them.
I was a progressive activist for a very long time, and only recently in researching this book did I decide I couldn't use that label anymore.
His new book says progressives ruin cities.
Progressivism has become the abdication of personal responsibility.
Well, it's pretty much always meant that. Were you dumb then and you've wised up?
You got me a little bit. I mean, yes.
It's time that the reign of criminals who are destroying our city, it is time for it to come to an end.
Even San Francisco's progressive mayor has now changed her mind. While I worked on this video, she announced that from now on, San Francisco's policing will be more aggressive
and less tolerant of all the bullshit that has destroyed our city.
We'll see what they really do. Now, I don't think people should be locked up for being homeless or using drugs. But when people steal or threaten other people, they should be punished. Protecting us is one of the few things government is supposed to do. Thanks for watching our video. If you want to help us cover more stories like this, hit that button.